Thank you so much. It's a great evening to be with all of you tonight. It's been a relatively new tradition this year for each board meeting during my superintendent remarks to highlight a video which we would say is a quick win and celebration across the district. So I'm going to ask Matt from our communications team to cue up our video, which is a celebration to the entire community at Trout Elementary School.
Medieval Day!
Here at Trout, we're having our medieval festival. We're dressing up as stuff people wore in the medieval ages. They're telling us about what people in the medieval ages used to do and who are the special people in that age who changed life and made history for today.
This event for students allows them to really put themselves in the shoes of people during the medieval times.
I didn't really know. It's more of a noble than a peasant and serf. Joan of Arc was I was pretty amazed to know how fast she was accepted and how well her brain worked so she could get into being a knight. I picked her because I wanted to be still my gender, but I also wanted to be someone who fights for the rights. I think the most interesting thing I learned about the medieval times was probably about the Battle of Hastings, where the Normans fought the English. My favorite part of today so far was probably either seeing the falcons or even walking in. I felt so special when I was walking into the building. Thank you to the teachers because they were providing clothes for people who didn't have clothes for medieval, and they set up beautiful things in our classroom.
My absolute favorite thing about Medieval Festival is just seeing the students' eyes as they walk into the classrooms that have transformed into something so new. I myself went to a core knowledge school where we had a medieval festival, and that memory for me is so close in my heart that making my classroom and their experiences is so much more important. I always joke that this is where, if anywhere, I'm going all out is Medieval Day, because it's something that the students never forget, and I've experienced that myself.
I really want to thank the Trout Elementary community for creating such deep and meaningful immersive experiences for their students, doing those things as early as pre-K and early childhood all the way up through 12th grade are the reasons why we get to celebrate in this boardroom students who are first in their nation in their particular passion in their sport. We're recognizing people who are award-winning at the national level who are front stage and backstage. We recently watched the state championship hockey game. It's just the endless amount of opportunities to be proud as a member of this school district is something I do not take lightly. Last week, at the end of the week, I spent a couple of days at a national superintendent's conference, and we continued to challenge each other professionally around how we can continue to think differently about public education so we can ensure that our students not just graduate, but they graduate prepared to compete in a global economy. And I think as we continue to talk about our district's priorities, which we will do tonight with that second half of our district's monitoring report, having students graduate with options is not simply giving them a diploma. It's ensuring that they can graduate with the knowledge, the skills and the dispositions, and most importantly, I believe, the empathy to understand how we can be a better member of today's global society. I'm just really proud that we can continue to do that each and every day. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of opportunities to engage thoughtfully with schools and members of our community. I want to thank everybody who has participated in those various events. In the last 2 weeks, I've had a chance to go to Beatty Elementary, CLP Middle School, Lincoln, Lesher, Poudre High School, and also had an opportunity to have an informal superintendent chat with our curriculum and instruction department, which I'm super grateful for. We are probably a couple of, hopefully a month and a half away from having a ribbon cutting ceremony at the renovations that are happening up at Poudre High School as a result of the financial and philanthropic contributions that have been made possible by both Larimer County, the Bohemian Foundation, as well as the voters of the Poudre School District. The work up there is amazing. The space that's being created to continue to take our P-Tech programs or advanced manufacturing programs and other type of technology programs to the next level to ensure that our students can graduate, not just connected to their passions, but being competitive in alignment with a dynamic workforce. I'm really proud of. And I know that we have more work to do. We talked about that in our dinner session tonight, but to see that work happening in meaningful ways is really, really great. It's also a very fascinating time to be an educator as we listen to our teachers talk about their passions and histories and sometimes getting lukewarm responses. There's this duality that's playing out where we're able to celebrate the incredible work that's happening in the system while also recognizing that there's this underlying tension as a result of changing budget dynamics both at the local level, state level, and in the federal level. Our district's focus will remain constant in educating every single student in our district every single day. But I want to recognize and legitimize that tension that's existing, especially amongst our principals, as they're having human-centered conversations with many members of our staff. As I shared with you some of those schools that I had an opportunity to visit recently, like Beatty Elementary School is an example. I know we'll talk a little bit more about Beatty and their physical facility infrastructure in a moment. But as a result of 4A passing, they're able to actually get back just less than a handful of some of the positions they've lost as a result of their declining enrollment over the last couple of years. But as I went to those other schools, not everybody was able to benefit at the same rate, in the same way. And from the lens of equity, that's appropriate. But we are continuing to downsize our staff, both at the central office level and at the instructional and paraprofessional level and across our district. And I think while we recognize and celebrate all of these amazing things that are happening, I think acknowledging that tension and humanizing it as much as possible and continuing to educate our community that we have real financial challenges that are not on the horizon, they are in front of us today. And I'm confident and continue to be hopeful that we can navigate those things together, but we need to continue to talk about them while also celebrating our successes. So I'm looking forward to having a great meeting with all of you tonight. I want to thank members of our community, some who are here in the room who attended my third Superintendent Community Engagement Session, which was hosted at Lincoln Middle School last week. I have 3 more that are scheduled in the weeks and months ahead, and I look forward to continued dialogue with our community to talk about all things PSD. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight.